So hi guys, this is my first tutorial. I could show you guys how I go through my process when I draw. This is on a recent piece I did, a Pokemon fan art, which I'll be selling at 2016 Comic Conventions. If you like my work, check out gankerscon.deviantart.com for more of my art. So right now, I'm just dropping down rough lines. This for this Pokemon piece, I actually had a pretty good idea of what I want already in my head before I started. Usually, I need more thumbnails and more kind of concept time before I know what I want to do. But like I said, this one I actually have a pretty good idea in my head already. As you can see right now, I'm having a bit of a problem with Charizard's head. It's just looking weird and ugly. So as you can see, I'm just gonna delete it. Yes, and then I'm gonna draw two boxes. Basically, the skull and the jaw are just two boxes. So I dropped down the two boxes, and now it's easier for me to fill in the details because I got the basic shape of the head already. So I think we should always keep in mind that everything is just basic shapes. Your squares, your spheres, your cones, your pyramids. If you can start seeing objects in those shapes, then drawing will be a lot easier for you. And yes, I'm not usually used to drawing cutesy stuff like this, so this piece was challenging was because I had a tough time trying to make Pikachu look as cute as possible. So as I said before, I'm not too good with drawing really cutesy stuff, so I'm having a tough time making Pikachu cute here. But usually, like I said before, also that when I color, I erase most of my line art that I did. Um, my line art is not my. I'm not good draftsman. My line art is not as good as other people's. I need coloring to save my line art, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna half-ass this process. I still wanna give myself as clear as idea of what I want later on, even though my final piece is not gonna be the same as what I'm drawing right now. It's still good to for me as I continue this process to give myself a good foundation of what I'm gonna do when I color. So as you can see in my process, I actually zoom in and zoom out a lot. The reason is that when you shrink your piece to a really small size and the silhouette of the pose is still clear, that means you're heading the right direction with your character poses. If you shrink your piece to a smaller size and you can't really tell what the silhouette's doing, you can't tell what the poses are, then that means your character's poses are not dynamic enough, it's not engaging enough, and you better change it. I'm also a lazy artist. The reason why I like to draw on the computer a lot better than on pencil and paper is that when I need to do minor changes, like as you can see, if I need the hand to be bigger or I need to post the hand somewhere, I don't need to erase and redraw the whole thing. I can just use a lasso tool, lasso it, use a scale tool, shrink tool, rotate, and I'm done without having without the need to redraw the whole thing. So there's nothing much for me to narrate right here. Uh, I'm just going through the process of cleaning up, moving stuff around, and yeah, just making sure to have a good enough foundation when I start coloring. So just to mention right here that I actually use two monitors. I dual monitor. So whenever I draw hands, it's just something that I do. I like to take pictures of my hand, pose it, and then use it as a reference. So same thing with Charizard's both hand. I actually right now have both of its hands on my other monitor and using it as reference. I actually really think that whenever you draw, no matter what style you are, it's it cartoony or it's it realistic, that it's always good to use real reference, live reference. Some of my friends who draw anime would tell me that, oh, they don't need to use anatomy books or real life anatomy reference, but I think that's just wrong. Any good animator has a really good classical background of life drawing. It's something that we all need, and until you get to a point where you can draw directly out of your head, you should always use reference. I think reference is an important part of the learning process. So right now I'm continuing putting down line art, trying to give myself a good foundation when I start coloring. I'm using another hand reference right now for Charizard's hand right here, making sure that everything is strong so that the coloring process can be easier on later on. So we have finally done the line art. Um, just a few more stroke, and then we're done. And now we can get on to coloring. So the first one we did was Pikachu. I just basically right now filling in a base color. I would have the line art on a higher layer, while the color on the lower layer. And right now I'm just filling in Pikachu. So right now I'm starting to put in the shadow and picking out a light source for Pikachu. Um, but you can see that the final product and what I'm doing right now is actually different. I did this for around 10 to 15 minutes, and actually I didn't like the way I was doing Pikachu, and so actually I erased everything and then recolored him. I think this was around the end of the first night I was doing this piece. I think I was getting tired and I wasn't really thinking what I want with the color, so I was just basically putting in anything. And the next day, actually, I woke up and I saw Pikachu. I was like, "This looks horrible," and so I erased everything and redid everything. So, as you can see, I actually didn't like anything I did before, so I actually painted on top of it, and I changed the direction of the light source, and now instead of coming from the left side, it's coming from the right side. And now I'm putting in the details, putting in the smoothing out a round area and then having hard edges in areas that should be hard edges. I think a lot of people when they draw, when they color actually, they try to smooth out everything. Not everything is actually smooth, right? There's actually a lot of hard edges when you paint. Um, there's always a harsh shadow when two object meets. When something that's spherical, when it's round, usually you have a more of a soft edge. As you can see as I go on, that actually I see there should be hard edges right underneath the armpit and where the arm intersects with the body. Um, I think one thing that we really need to understand with color is that shapes. Once you understand shapes, then you know where certain things should have hard edges as shadows and where certain ends should have soft rounded shadows. And I didn't like the way the eyes looks. The eyes look stupid, look wonky. So here I'm just fixing the position, moving the eyes around until I get to a point where I think it's not weird looking. So, like I said, right, your line art is never set in stone. A lot of time, you actually start seeing geometry, a shape that's weird, or weird anatomy when you start coloring. And don't be afraid to delete your line art, change it, fix it, right? Um, that's what I always do. My line art's usually wrong. As you can see throughout this whole process, this piece, this Pikachu Pokemon piece, right? I constantly change what I did with my line art. Here, as I continue to add details, highlights, and shadows onto Pikachu, I'm fixing a lot of line art. See, I'm starting erase line art already. The back is totally gone already because I'm trying out new stuff. I'm moving the head around, moving the body around. So, never be afraid to delete your own line art. And so right now, I think because I sped up the video, you can't really tell, right? I can't sometimes see a flicker. It's because I'm actually seeing, do I like this new shadow, this light source better than one I originally did? So that's what the flicker was. It was just I'm going back and forth the two layers and see which one is better. And of course, I like this one a lot better than the one I did previously. So here you can see me flickering back and forth again, see? So just seeing which one I like better. And right now I'm erasing more lines. See, I erased the head because I want to have some fur kind of being propped up by the wind or whatever that he's doing, jumping in the air. Um, so a lot more lines going to be deleted by the end of this painting. Like I said, the line for me is more of just a guide when I need to color, and usually I let my color dictate what my final line should be. As you can see, I when you see like a flicker of a circle with like a color, like a shape like that just now, like this and that, I'm just actually just using the eyedropper and pick uh, the color one right off of Pikachu. So you don't see me actually going into the swatches a lot, right? You see me when I first start going through the putting on the base color. Once I have that, a lot of time I'm just blending in color. I'm just using the color that I already have on my page right now. So I think we're nearing the end of the first culling pass on Pikachu. Um, as you can see from my final product, that actually I have a lot of lighting effects, glows and stuff like that on the three Pokemons. But right now, I actually don't really care about that. I kind of know what I want to do with the lighting effects at the end, but for now, I just want to put down a generic color. I want to get the major light source right, and that's all I'm doing right now. I'll leave all the glow and the lighting effects at the end when I'm done all three Pokemons. I didn't like the hand here. I thought it was too skinny, so right now I'm just trying to see what I want, play around with it. I know that I want a bigger, fluffier hand, but I didn't know what posture or what position I want. I actually settled back to the original hand that I have, but I just made it chubbier. So Pikachu is basically done, the first pass. Right now I'm gonna go off to the next Pokemons. Pikachu already dictate where the light source is coming from. It's coming from the top right corner. So for the rest of the piece, all the light source is gonna be coming down from that side. Right now I'm just filling in the base color again before I put in the shadow and the lights. So right now I'm just adding where the lights are, where the lights hitting the head from. And I'm just roughing in a bit. You don't have to be too detailed right now. I'm just putting in blotches of color wherever I think there should be a light, and then adding some darker shadow. That's pretty much basically it. And then yeah, the neck, darker shadow under where the eye is. Same thing for the arm. Everything just pretty rough right now. Nothing is too detailed. I just want to know where the shadow and the light should be. I don't know why there's two arrows when I record this video. So, it's weird. I don't know why. So I start putting in the hard edges, the hard shadows on the left side of its face. Like I said before, you really have to start understanding shape. Once you know shapes and you know where shadows and light goes, it actually make your work a lot more 3D. It pops a lot more. It looks like it has shapes. And as you saw before, I didn't like the way the eyes was, so I changed the eye position. And right now, I'm changing the hue. I didn't like the original blue color that I chose, so I went on the hue and saturation and just changed the hue. So right now, I know where the shadow is. I found the hue that I like. I'm going to give a Blastoids head a little bit more detail coloring. A lot of artists would do the rough for the whole body first, of shadows and light for the whole body. For me, sometimes I'll pick a particular part of the body, just give it a bit more detail so that it dictates what the rest of the body would be like, so that when I color the rest of the body, I know what I want and where the light and the color should be. So as I'm doing its body, I'm giving a hard edge shadow right underneath where his chin is, being cast by its head, and then the rest of the stomach area, I'm giving it a soft gradient shadow because it's round. So you gotta really understand where the light's coming from, where hard shadow should be, and where soft shadow should be to give it like a 3D realistic look. So I added some yellow on Blastoised's face. It's because I know at the end I want to give Pikachu a glow. I just want to see how viable was it for Pikachu to be a secondary life source on Blastoise. I did it for fun, just trying to get some idea. I erase it eventually because for now I just want to put in the base color for Blastoise, and then I'll worry about the lighting later on. But I just want to get a rough idea of what I want to do. You see me do that a few more times later on in the process. It's just to see what I want. So here once again, fixing the face. I want to give him a meaner look, so I'm moving the face around, changing it, looking at back and forth from what I had previously, and I like it better this way, so I kept it this way. Usually, I would actually copy the layer and then paste it on top, and just to move things around. Once I get to a point where I like it, I will merge the layers again. Yeah, sorry, once again, I don't know why when I recorded this, it gave me two mouse arrows. It's kind of confusing not knowing where I'm pointing at. I don't know why I always constantly see the lasso tool in this video, but as you can see, actually I'm using the brush tool painting on stomach right now. Just ignore that weird secondary lasso tool. So right now I'm working on its body. Like I said before, keep in mind where the light source is coming from. Its body's casting a shadow right on its left leg, so that's why I have a hard edge right there. Like I said before, always make sure you know when to use a hard shadow edge, when to soften the shadows. That's the only way to make it look 3D and pop out a little bit better. Because the body it's a round shape, it's a strong edge shape. That's why the shadow being cast is straight lines. It's a strong line, and I'm darkening it even a bit more so the legs pop out even more. And then now I'm adding highlights where the light should actually land on the leg. So as you can see, when I color, I'm actually all over the place. I'm actually doing what a lot of professional artists would tell you not to do. I'm going to detail right away, as you can see right here with the front leg. I'm adding in the highlights, the edges already, and then same thing with the front arm. While the rest of the body is not done yet. Um, it might not be the best way to do stuff, but it kind of works for me for my style at least. So I have fun doing details too. But I think any professional artist, any school would tell you to work from big into small. Um, it's that's, I have to admit, that's the proper way of doing stuff. But sometimes I just go off board and just have fun with it, like right now. So, nothing much special right now as I continue on just putting down the lights and shadows, figuring out what I want to do next, understanding where the light source is coming from. That's basically right now. This being my first tutorial video, I actually don't know when I should speak and explain stuff, or when I should shut up and just let you guys watch and see what I do. But I do hope that at least you guys are getting a basic idea of what I do and how I approach drawing and coloring. But hopefully, the more tutorial I do, the better I get, and I can explain more stuff, and you guys get more information out of it. That being said, as you can see right now, I'm getting into the details of the hand already, which is a big no-no to do from a lot of the teachers and art school out there. But I think once you get to a certain point where you get a little bit more comfortable, you can break the rule a little bit. Uh, I know that we should work from big to small. We should rough up everything, put on base color first, whatever. But sometimes it gets too mundane. It's more fun sometimes just jump right into detail. I guess that's what I like the most. But like I said, once you get comfortable, maybe you can break the rule once in a while and just enjoy and have fun. Yeah, I just didn't like the way the claw looked. I didn't like how it was just round. It didn't give it character. So I actually decided to erase the original and change it so that it's a little bit more curved at the tip. right now, as I'm working on face right here, I think I should mention that never leave your eye pure white, because as we know, our eyeball is a ball, it's a round shape, it's a sphere, so that there should always be shadow, that it should be round. Even though for Pokemon, for something that's cartoony, anime-ish, there should be a really uh, round shape to the eye. As you can see, especially the ridges, your eyebrow ridges, right? It's casting a shadow, so it should be darker right there. And then imagine how a sphere would be like with light hitting on it. If you leave it pure white, it would just look really weird, really off. If you look at any great painting, go on DeviantArt, look at any awesome portraits, the eye's never pure white. You always have a shadow that make it look like it's a sphere. Now I'm working on the left arm. As you can see, I just turned off the color layer and I'm erasing a lot of lines. The reason is because the lines were making a lot of unnecessary shadows, which I don't want. So I'm just erasing the line, make it cleaner and more crisp. And now I'm turned back on the color layer. And because the arm is being covered mostly by its head and body, so it's not getting a lot of the light from the light source. So everything should remain really dark. So the left arm, as you can see, the ear is casting a shadow right on its shoulder. So you see a hard line right there, a hard shadow line being cast by its ear. The rest, the forearm, the bicep, if you think of it just as a cylinder, so that's why there's a soft gradient shallow for it. But it's dark because it's being covered by the head. So a lot of the light is coming from the light source. So basically that's the idea. So you have that hard shadow being cast by the ear right on the shoulder, and then everything else is softer because it's a cylinder, two cylinders, the bicep and the forearm. So with the head and the leg and the arm and the body mostly done, I started working on the rest of the body. Um, as I said before, without sounding like a broken record, you have to be clear where hard edges shadow should be and where soft shadow should be. Um, the object around the shoulder, it's the shape of a cylinder. It's the shape of a ring. So one side, not facing the light source, should have a gradient softer shadow, while the side facing the light source should be lit brightly and should have a hard edge. So as you can see, uh, the side that's facing the light source right around the shoulder, it's bright, and then the other side that's being covered, not facing the light source, I have this nice round gradient shadow. But right underneath the armpit where the shoulder is, you actually see a hard edge because that is being caused by its shoulder and arm covering the light source. The shell being mostly a round shape, so the shadow should be a little bit more soft, like a soccer ball. When you see how a soccer ball it's under a direct light source, the shadow it's a bit more soft, and that's what I'm doing now with the highlight right on the edge of the shell right there. So sometimes your hand just can't get that curve or get a straight line that usually can get. So what I do is just like this. I actually rotate the canvas. It's actually just the R key, and then you can rotate your canvas. It allows you to do certain strokes and certain curves that you couldn't do if the canvas were straight and normal. So you would see me do this quite a few times in this tutorial with the R key and just rotate canvas to get that stroke I want. On the shell, I hope that you can see where I'm putting the light soft shadows and where the hard shadows are. The cast shadow on the Canon, that's the water blaster that's closer to us. You see that shadow, harsh edge shadow right on the shell, and then it goes into a gradient smoother for the roundness of the shell. And on the other blaster, the one that's further away from us, the side that's facing the light source, it's a lot brighter, and then you see the shadow on your side that's not facing the light source. I'm here working on the front blaster. Um, the nozzle of the blaster is just a simple cylinder shape, and we all know how a single light source interacts with a cylinder. For this particular cylinder, the face that we're seeing, the side that we're seeing, it's behind the light source, so it should be all dark, and then it gradients to the top where the light's hitting it, so it's a lot brighter. When you draw or paint sometimes and you can't see shapes or understand how shadows and light goes on it yet, just go on Google, and there's actually tons of pictures of simple objects being shined by a single light source. Reference it, learn from it. It's a great tool for you to get better at what you do. As I'm painting here, I don't know how I got that black stroke on top of the shell, but it's weird I didn't notice it. I guess I was too into painting the blaster right there. It took me a while right now to delete it. I was like, what the hell just happened there? I didn't even see it. Same thing on the blaster on the other side. It's a simple cylinder shape. So shadow goes on the side where the light source not hitting, and then highlights goes on to the side where the light source is hitting. And as you can see here, I actually rotate the canvas again so I can paint with better strokes.